My game is in my opinion already pretty fun. Except I think it's possible to make it even more fun to play. So, how am I going to do that? Well, let me explain. But first, if you're new here, the Rewind Factory is a fast FPS, with some cool abilities like rewinding and wall running. And your goal is to complete the test chamber as fast as possible. So, how am I going to make my game more fun? Let's start off with water. Whenever I play my game, I always have that moment of when I ever so slightly touch the water, and then I'm dead, instantly. You might be asking yourself, why is water deadly? Basically, you are full of electronic equipment, hence why you can for example rewind. But you know, water and electronic equipment don't go together very well. But instead of making it kill you instantly, I'm thinking of making it slowly kill you. Or well, not really slow, but also not instantaneous. With this change, I'm trying to make it not as punishing as before when you fall in the water. Most games also have like a red border around the screen whenever you're low on health. So I think this is the best time to also implement something like this in my game. I used this cool shader from this guy on Twitter and modified it a bit, so I could make the middle have an opacity of 0 and then fade it in. And I also added a simple pulse effect to give it some more life. Then I hooked it up to fade in when you have low health, and now it works. So the next thing I want to change is quite a big one. I want to remove the timer. The time limit has basically been in the game since the start, but I think it's time for it to go. But it's not going away entirely. Basically, I'm going to add medals, based on the time it took you to complete the chamber. This does mean you can finish the chamber first try, with let's say 10 minutes on the clock, and if you don't die to enemies. But I do hope people will replay the level when they see they can get a higher or better medal. Otherwise the game will be quite short. But if you do replay the level one or more times, then the game takes way longer to finish. So to help with people getting to replay a chamber, I will also add leaderboards. Or at least they are already there, but you can only view them in the menu, and not when you have finished the chamber. Besides that, I want to make them more like engaging. I'm not quite sure how I want to do that, but I'm thinking of if you're not in the top 3, then display the user before and after you like this. And then when you replay a chamber and get a better time, I want to display how many positions you moved. So for a medal system, I obviously need medals. So I started out by searching for some reference material. Then I opened Illustrator and began making a medal. I wanted to incorporate something related to rewinding, so I used these two arrows like this. But I also wanted some symmetry, so in the end I placed them like this to face the middle. I might change the medal design later, but for now it's alright. I did also make some color variants. To make it easy for myself, I made a system where I can just specify the time for each medal. Then at the end of the level, I can just easily calculate what medal the player should get. And as you can see, I plan on making 4 medals. Just your usual bronze, silver and gold medals, but also a medal if you beat my own time. The backend now works. Now it's time to create a design in Illustrator for the end screen. Currently, the end screen looks like this. I quite like it. But before I changed it, it looked like this. It was quite terrible if you ask me. So that's why I redesigned it. In this new design, I wanted to make time seem more important, and also add leaderboards. And I did all of this around the time when I released my 4th devlog. But now that I have a new time system with medals, it's time for another redesign. This time I swapped the leaderboards and statistics. And then obviously I also added medals. So now that it is done, I will add it to the actual game. This is currently what I've got. It is already feeling quite good. However, I have not added the last medal, or the platinum medal as I call it. I'm still thinking about where I want to put it. Another large thing related to how the game feels are animations. Previously, my game didn't have animations for the weapon in hand. It felt really static. But since I'm not really an animator, I decided to just add some movement to the weapon and hands. To make it easy for myself, I made an inverse kinematics rig. If I move the weapon, the hands will automatically follow it. This way I only need to move the weapon. There are a couple of things I want the weapon and hands to react to. The first thing is jumping, the second one shooting, then also when you start wall running, and when you dash and slide, and finally when you walk. The way I'm going to do this is basically I parent the weapon to a lot of empty objects, and then I can move those objects and the weapon will follow. In the code I just need to specify when those objects will move, and that's it. And I gotta say, it feels really good. That's everything for this devlog. I'm already working on the next one, where I'll be adding the platinum medal, but also rewindable health. Anyway, if you'd like to support me, you could wishlist the game or subscribe, or both. Oh, and also, I've updated the demo, so you could also try that. If you've got any feedback, let me know so I can improve the game. Thanks for watching, until the next one, bye.